Hello everyone, I'm Rabbi Chaitovsky. Welcome to another video Dvar from my office at BMH-BJ in Denver, Colorado. Great week on our calendar. Purim is going to be celebrated this week, and Purim is everyone's favorite holiday. It brings out the inner child in all of us, and we celebrate our salvation from what the book about Purim, Megillat Esther, in our Tanakh, seems to describe as a destined destruction at the hands of our arch enemy Haman, and things are turned totally topsy-turvy, and it works out for our benefit. It's a great holiday. As I said before, everyone loves it. We get dressed up in masks and costumes, and we really let loose in our celebration in a way that's very different than most other holidays. The physicality of the holiday is very, very different, and that maybe explains why it's so popular, both for our youngest children and those that are children at heart, children of any age, if you want to call it that. But I've been thinking about Purim, and there's a very serious message, and it has to do with the fact that it is introduced with this Shabbat, not only with the Torah reading of Vayikra. We begin the third book of the Torah, a book of holiness, a book that talks all about karbanot, and the very name karban means a way to get closer to God. And the karbanot take place in the precincts of the Mishkan, which was God's central address, and it was supposed to be a communal gathering place. And we also read at the end of the Torah portion, we take out another Torah scroll and we read about the incident of Amalek attacking the Jewish people, the first attack against the Jewish people in the aftermath of their exodus from Egypt and their salvation at the shores of the Reed Sea. And Amalek, of course, is connected to Purim because many say, not everyone agrees, but many say that Haman, who is listed as an Agagite, Agag, is biologically connected and is a descendant of the original Amalek. So we remember Amalek. We have a story about a descendant of Amalek who tried to destroy us in line with his ancestors, and we celebrate our salvation. And there are a number of things that we do on Purim, and we're going to have an opportunity to do all those things here at BMH-BJ. We come together to read the Megillah. We send gift packages to one another, food packages to one another. We distribute charity to the poor, and we have a Seudah. And I'm trying to think of what all of these things may have in common. And it struck me that the four mitzvot of Purim actually have community in common. They force us, encourage us certainly, but even force us to come together in a spirit of community, to reach out. Because if you look at what Haman had actually said to Achashverosh when he was elevated to his position as almost second in command, he tries to describe the Jewish people as Am Echad Mefuzar Umeforad Ben Ha'amim, a singular nation. There's this one group of people, but they're not really a group. They're scattered, and they're all over our country. He seems to describe us as a people lacking in a sense of community. And whether that was correct or not, I imagine that most Jews probably lived within the same precinct as one another. But his version of what we were and how we behaved was an unusual one. It says that we're alone, we're singular, we're not really together in any way, shape, or form. And the mitzvot of Purim are actually the antidote to that. By giving mishloach manot, for example, by asking us to extend ourselves and give food packages to each other, even if we know one another, and even if the other person is not necessarily in need. By extending ourselves this way, we cement a relationship. It's a relational act. By asking us to give money to the poor, also we extend ourselves. And the Rambam has a great discussion as to the best ways to give charity. And among the top ways is a way to establish a relationship with another person, where not that you give anonymously, but where you may reach out to the person and engage them in conversation and see what they really need and see what they're really about and value them not only as the poor person, but value them first and foremost as a person. That's a relational idea. The idea of coming together to hear the Megillah read in community is certainly relational. We sit next to people, we sit next to our friends, we all cheer Esther and Mordechai, and we all jeer at the name of Haman and Vashti perhaps. And we do all this in a larger community, Barov Am Hadrat Melech. We come together in the spirit of community, we come together with a minyan to read the Megillah, and we foster a sense of community. And then, of course, there's the Seudat Purim, the meal of Purim, where again, we eat together, and we build friendships, and we break bread with those that we know, and perhaps even with those that we don't know. Each of the mitzvot of Purim fosters a certain sense of community, because Haman perhaps accused us of lacking in community. And I pointed out last week at services that Moshe almost overlooked the vavim, the hooks that connected the curtains in the Mishkan. And the vav, the letter vav, means connection. The letter vav stands for connection. It stands for community. And we should all be thinking about ways to foster a greater sense of community. Because first and foremost, that's what a synagogue should be. It is a kihila kedosha. It is a sacred community, a holy assembly. And I know that I'm dedicated to that here at our synagogue. I know the members of our synagogue are interested and dedicated to fostering greater sense of community. And I ask everyone to stay tuned for more details about this and join us on Wednesday evening for our Megillah reading, Thursday morning for Megillah reading, and our Purim Su'udah on Thursday evening at about 5:15. We look forward to seeing all of you. Shabbat Shalom and a wonderful Chag Purim Sameach.